Hello, I'm so happy to see you guys. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of our book club series. I'm sorry, I'm so excited. Anyways, so happy New Year. It is January 4th today, and let's see. I don't know how your all's December went, but I had a really good Christmas, a really good New Year's. Like, I'm super grateful for the way that the year ended, because I had a really hard year, but it was a really good end to a really hard year. So I'm super grateful for that. I'm grateful to be back. Sorry I didn't get to do Vlogmas. There was just, had too much going on in December. But I'm back to finish the book club series. So welcome if you're new. Welcome back if you've been following along. I'm so happy that you're here. Anyways, I love you guys. Oh, if you're wondering, I have a list of things that I need to discuss today, so I don't forget any of it. If you're wondering where I'm at, I am in my camper. So, like, since I moved, I don't really have anywhere, like, good to film or, like, an office. So, I've decided to use my camper as, like, that's where I'm going to be filming. So, this is going to be... I might, like... I don't know. I might try to put something in the background. It's kind of hard to hang stuff in here because it's, like, that, you know? So, I don't know. Maybe next time there'll be a candle or something relaxing. I'm not sure. But for now, it's pretty plain. But, yeah. I'm in my camper in case you're like, where in the heck is she? Yep. It's actually kind of nice because there's, like, natural lighting in here. So, like, I'm not even using a ring light. The light's pretty good. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking now. So if you don't know who I am and you've never watched my channel before, my name is Brooke and I do all types of content on my channel, but this specifically, we've been doing a book club series. So we're reading we're reading the novel called The Pact by Jodi Picoult. So it's fun. I love discussions. I love book discussions. I mean, I'm assuming if you're here, you love books, you love reading, you love book discussions too. Yeah, so basically, we read together and then we talk about what we read and we discuss the characters and the drama and the juicy gossip and everything that goes down in the book. We're about halfway through it right now. You can get the book. I think most people just watch the videos and or listen to the videos. That's fine too. It doesn't matter. I guess that's it. I don't think there's anything else that I really need to say. So today we're going to be discussing readings. Let me double check. 1 second. So today we're discussing readings 12, 13, and 14. So if you haven't watched those videos, like the readings, oh my God, I'm sorry. I'm just getting back into it, okay? Y'all are just going to have to give me some grace. But anyways, so if you have not listened or watched the readings 12, 13, and 14, you're probably not going to know what's going on in this discussion. So that's up to you if you want to go back and listen to those. Also, let me mention, so if you want to follow along completely with this book club series, like from start to finish, I have a playlist on my channel. I don't know what it's called. I'm sure it's called book club series or something, or The Pact, I don't know. But I have it like all organized in a playlist from start to finish. Or you can search the hashtag book club series and every one of the videos will come up. So you can do either one of those two things. If you want to like listen to every episode, go for it. If you want to binge watch, be my guest. I'll be here. I'm just going to start where we left off so that we're all kind of on the same page. Chris is on trial for the murder of his girlfriend, Emily. He's in jail awaiting his trial, basically working with his lawyer and all of that. And the town is like gossiping and shit's just going down, okay? So that's where we're at. Ooh, something we need to talk about. Okay, so one of the first things that we need to discuss in this section is reading 12. So Steve Vernon is Chris's cellmate. And he's in there because he quote unquote baby. I don't know if I can say that. Well, I'll edit that out. His baby His infant. Okay. And so that's why his roommate, Steve, is in jail. Chris. Oh, God. Okay. And so basically what we find out in reading 12 is that Steve reveals to Chris, like, how it happened. Like, how he accidentally... his child. So basically he tells us the story that he was like drunk and the baby was crying and he had a headache, and like next thing he knew he was just like shaking the baby to get it to stop crying, and he did it too hard and he his baby, and that is why Steve Vernon is in jail. So again, Steve is Chris's cellmate, which is pretty intense. Like, ugh, that's that's like hard to talk about, you know, but like, woof, this is some intense stuff in this book. Okay, so mom, basically, Chris's mom, who is, I think it's Gus, yes, Gus, comes to see Chris in jail like multiple times back and forth, like that happens, and he tells his mom that he doesn't want to see his dad, James. Chris does not like his dad, as we all know. Like, his dad expects him to be perfect. We don't know any details, really. Like, it hasn't given anything away as far as that goes yet. But we just know that Chris, like, has a bad taste in his mouth towards his dad, whose name is James. And, yeah, he tells his mom, I don't want dad here. I don't want him coming to see me, basically. Which is pretty intense. Like, that's a pretty, like, I mean, he must really not like him for him not to want him to come see him in jail. Like, when you're, for him to be like, I don't want to see my dad, I don't want to talk to him, blah, 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 like, that's a pretty big deal, right? So, it makes me wonder, like, why? Like, is there gonna be something that's revealed later on that we don't know about James? Like, I'm so curious, because throughout this whole, like, series, this whole book that the whole book, we just keep getting these little instances of, like, Chris not liking his dad, just, like, not being able to stand his dad. So I'm just so curious to see, like, why, like, where that's gonna go. Maybe it'll go nowhere, but that's something that I've noted. I don't know about y'all. Let me know your opinions in the comments if you want. Be my guest. I would love to hear your all's opinions or your theories or anything. Any comments that you have. Feel free to let me know in the comments. Yeah, that's right. Can you comment on this video? Well, I don't know. If you can comment on the video, then comment on the video. I'm not really sure how that works, because I know, like, it doesn't matter. Okay. So while Chris is in jail, he gets blamed for having a cigarette in his shoe. So he gets set up by this dude named Hector, okay? Hector is one of the guys in the jail who's, like, the bully kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, he's just, like, that other cellmate, like, that, like, kind of picks on everybody and, like, kind of rules the roost, for lack of a better way to put it. So that's Hector. Anyway, so Hector has cigarettes smuggled in for him into the jail. And he sets Chris up and puts a cigarette in Chris's shoe. And they find the cigarette and they put Chris in, like, timeout, I guess we'll call it, for 5 days. Basically, he's just, like, on a 5-day lockdown. Like, he gets moved to a private cell. And that, you know, he's, like, stuck in there, like, 24 hours a day or some shit. Let's see. So that sucks. But the good thing about this is that because Chris decided not to snitch on Hector, it earned him, like, credibility, I guess, in their jail sector or whatever, like, with the people that were, like, in their pod, I guess. It earned him, like, some credibility with them, because it's like, okay, so he's not a snitch, like, he's loyal or whatever. So it actually ended up being a good thing for him that he didn't snitch. You know what I forgot to look up? The banana peel. Okay, so if y'all remember, if you watched, they were smoking a banana peel. In, like, I'm not going to go into detail, because if you want to know, go back and listen and watch the story. But basically, they're smoking a banana peel. Hector is smoking a banana peel. And I just wanted to know how that works. Like, I've never ever heard of somebody smoking a banana peel, but I mean, in jail, you know, you get pretty creative with things. So I'm gonna look that up now, because I said I was gonna look it up and I forgot. And, like, I need to know, y'all need to know. We need to figure it out. I don't know if this is what they did or not, but This is what the internet has to say. See, I don't think that's right because it says he smoked a banana peel. It doesn't say that he smoked through a banana. So hold on, let me go back. How do you smoke a banana peel? Can smoking banana peels get you high? Banana joints. I guess that's a thing. They're called banana joints. We've all learned something here today. Thank you for coming to my class. Take a banana and eat it. Now take the peel and scrape the inside of it until you have a pile of banana pith. Cure the pith in the oven like grass. Okay, so you can. I'm not gonna... I'm not condoning this, so that's all I'm gonna say, but yes. You can smoke banana peel. Or banana something. You smoke banana. I don't know. Grass. The high is thought to be something like an opium high. Wow. I did not know that. That is crazy. Okay. That's so cool. I love that we just like learned that together, you know? All right. Back to it. They're smoking a banana peel in jail. So yeah, Steve tells Chris the story of how he killed his baby. Let's keep going. Ooh, so there's this part when Emily and Chris are in the back of, I guess, his Jeep or whatever, and he's like trying to get it on with her, and she's like, no, because she's not ready. And he like keeps trying, and she says no, and he tries again, and she has to like shove him off, which is interesting because his response to her was, what did I write down? Let me see if I wrote it down. Okay. He said, so she pushes him off finally and he says, I didn't think you meant it. In response to her saying, no, I don't want to with you. Isn't that just like a man though? I've definitely, I mean, I don't know about y'all, but that shit has happened more than a few times. Like, men say that kind of shit a lot. No offense. No offense to the men out there. I'm sure that you're all fine gentlemen, but there are plenty of them that are not. So, that was something I wanted to note just because that's something I have personally experienced in my life. Like, many times, actually. So, if you have experienced anything like that, let me know. Like, give me your feedback on it. Like, if you think that is also a problem, like with men not taking us seriously when we say no, or just like not believing us or like whatever, because that's definitely been something that has impacted my life a lot. So Chris gets pissed because he's got blue balls now, right? So Emily finally gives in, and they plan to have sex like on a certain day at the place that he works, at the park that he works at. They're gonna have sex on the carousel, okay? And if you don't know, again, I'm not like going into every detail, so if you want to know what's going on, then you're just gonna have to go back and listen. But basically, they plan at the park. So they finally do it, whatever, for the first time, like after so much back and forth of like Chris getting pissed at her and her saying no and blah, blah, blah. So they go back and forth a lot. Finally, they do it. First time, whatever. Yes, Emily cries, but we don't know why. Like, she starts like bawling after they do it. Because, oh, this is what happened. Okay, so they do it for the first time, right, on the carousel. And then I guess they fell asleep afterwards. And she had a nightmare. And her nightmare was what happened to her in the McDonald's bathroom when they were like 10 or something. I don't remember how old she was. 9, 10, whatever. They were kids. And he dared her to go in the men's bathroom. And she did, and she got assaulted. Again, I'm not going to go into detail because you can go back and watch and listen. But anyway, so she gets assaulted in the men's bathroom and never tells anybody about it. Like, she just goes back and acts like she did the dare, and like, that's it. She never mentions it to anyone, but like, it's like really affecting her. So anyways, so she has this like flashback dream of like what happened that day. And she's like having a nightmare. Anyways, and so then Chris wakes her up. He's like, you were screaming, you know. And, oh yeah. So all that to say, she was like bawling, like crying. It said that she was just like crying really hard, after she woke back up. And then that's kind of like the end of that section. So it doesn't really say if she was crying due to the dream, but like, you know, I feel like that definitely plays a role. What do you guys think? So, all right, moving right along. So the next thing that I want to touch on that made me laugh, important point that I think, again, if there's any important points that you guys like notice that I don't, or want to point out, or things that you're like, that like interest you, or just like, you just want to discuss, let me know. Because I mean, obviously I'm not going to think of everything, so. But anyways, so Gus goes grocery shopping, and she hears these old women gossiping about her son for being on trial for murder, obviously. And she like goes and calls these bitches out. She like goes up to them and says, is there something you'd like to say to my face, hoes? I mean, that's not what she says, but you know what I mean. Like, something like that. And basically, these old women just like tell her that he must have learned that behavior from somewhere, you know, like just shit like that, basically saying that it's the parents' fault. And then they walk away. Like, how rude. Anyways, so Gus is like, fuck this. And then she sees this newspaper article that's like basically highlighting the fact that Chris was there at the scene when Emily was murdered, even though like we all already knew that. Like, this newspaper, you know how they like exacerbate things, you know, in the news and the media to like make them more dramatic. Well, whatever, it's like that. So she sees that in the newspaper and she is pissed the fuck off, and she goes up into the Gazette office, and she knocks one time and then walks right in. Like, she doesn't even wait. She doesn't give anybody a chance to invite her. She says, fuck this, let me in this door. So she goes and speaks to the editor of the Gazette newspaper or whatever, and calls him out basically, and is like, you know, basically, you're framing my son to look guilty, and he's not. And I want you to take that back. And the dude's like, tough shit, sorry. Like, it's already been published. Like, no matter, even if I do take it back, even if I do reprint, the story's already out there, and people are already going to believe that story. You know, people are already going to be following along with that narrative. So he's like, tough shit. But I mean, he's like, I will reprint and like take it back, but it's still not going to do anything because people have already heard the story. So that sucks for Gus. She's pissed. I would be pissed too. And then he asks to hear her side of the story. Like, why in the hell is she gonna give you an exclusive scoop when you done twisted this murder case that her son is involved in? Why would she trust you? Like, that's so stupid. But he like asks her if she wants to give an exclusive, like of her side of things. And she says no, obviously, but maybe, I think, my call, let me know what you guys think. I think she's going to change her mind later on. I mean, maybe not, but like, I just think like, maybe she might change her mind about telling her side of the story to somebody. Maybe even if not the Gazette. Like, I feel like she's going to change her mind about that. Let me know what y'all think. Oh yeah, so we all know Melanie gave her side of the story. So Melanie is Emily's mom, the dead girl. And Melanie gave her side of the story to the Gazette and said that she doesn't believe, obviously, that Emily was suicidal. She blames, you know, she thinks Chris is guilty, blah, 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 all this. So, okay, sorry, that was, the air conditioner just kicked on. Anyways, so basically he's like, well, Melanie gave her side of the story. Would you like to give your side of the story? You know how they do. So, Um, oh yeah, okay. Moving on. Next thing noteworthy was that Chris, so as I said, Chris's mom goes to visit him in jail like multiple times, you know, back and forth throughout all this. And he finally tells her that he was never, in fact, never, how do I say this? I can't say this word on the YouTube, but he never wanted to off himself, basically is what he's saying. He was never, how can I do this? He was never blank idol. He was never that way, is what he reveals to his mom this day in jail. Which is not necessarily a good thing, because then it's like, so what really happened then? You know? It's, yeah, so anyways. Ooh, okay, next thing, moving on. So James, Chris's dad, right, the one that Chris doesn't like, gets awarded for his work at the hospital that he works at. And so he like gives this speech to these like up and coming medical students or whatever at like this dinner ceremony thing. And all this is going on while Chris is in jail, like awaiting trial. And so James gets up and like gives this speech or whatever, and then he thanks everyone, and he thanks his wife and his daughter, but he doesn't mention Chris, his son. And Gus gets pissed. Like, she goes off on his ass and basically is like, you can't pretend like this isn't happening. And he's like, what did he say? He was like, basically he's like, you can't stop me. Yes, I can. Like, basically, like, he literally admits that he's just trying to ignore it. Pretty much. So that's that right there. I feel like that right there, like, maybe gives a cue into why Chris doesn't like him, because he's just like trying to ignore this and pretend like it's not real, you know? God, I hate that shit. Don't you hate that shit? Do y'all have people in your life that do that to you? Because let me just say, can we just talk about this for a second? I feel like we're very discouraged from talking about any kind of like family drama or anything like that, or any struggles or whatever. Like, the way that the culture that I grew up in is very heavy on like hiding your dirt, you know, kind of thing. And so I feel like that's how James is too. I don't know if that's how you all grew up, but that's definitely how I grew up. You just like don't talk about anything like taboo, you know. You just, if it's bad, you don't talk about it. Like, that's it, you know. And if it's bad and you're going through it, you ignore it. Like, you don't acknowledge feelings, okay? You don't acknowledge feelings. That's how I grew up, and I hate that shit, and that's not right. And like, it's so unhealthy to be that way. So anyways, that's another thing that I have personally experienced. I like relating to these characters. I don't know about y'all, but I'm like, I enjoy, like, you know, relating to the things that they go through. Because it is relatable, you know? So anyways, let me know if you want to discuss it. You don't have to, obviously, if that's something that you've experienced in your life as well. Okay, and so we end, this is going to be the last point, we end with Selena, who is the private investigator that works for Jordan, who is Chris's lawyer. So she's the private investigator for the defense. She follows Michael Gold, Emily's dad, to his job, like to work, and basically waits for him to get done, approaches him, and then basically just starts interrogating him, saying, would Emily have wanted Chris's life to be ruined? Would Emily have wanted to be blamed for, would Emily have wanted Chris to be blamed for her murder? Like, basically just like pulling out all these stops at Michael. And then that is where we ended, which I thought, I was like, oh my God. Like, she gets pretty, like, you would have to go back and watch it. I don't remember exactly what was said, but like, she gets pretty, like, how do I say this? Like, touchy with it. Like, I don't remember what she says, but there's some remark that she says that I was like, oh my God, like, that was personal. Anyways, like, about Emily, you know, his dead daughter, like. So But I mean, I guess if you're a private investigator, you'll probably do just about anything to win your case or whatever. But that's all I have for now. So that was the discussion of readings 12, 13, and 14. So the next reading will be reading number 15. I'm so excited to be back and doing this again. I love you guys. I'm so glad that you joined me today. I hope that you enjoyed this. Again, let me know your feedback, your comments, anything that you have to, I don't know, anything that you have to say about what we've discussed. And great Christmas and a great New Year's or great whatever. I hope that you had a great holiday season. Let me just say that, because not everybody celebrates Christmas. So whatever holiday that you celebrated, if you celebrated a holiday, I hope that it was great. I hope that you had a good New Year, and I'm so happy that you're here, and I love you guys so much, and I hope that you have a fantastic day, whatever day and time it is where you're at, and I will see you in the next video.
How y'all feel out there?
I'm light years, call me eons. When the snare kick in, the beat is neon. Lights, yeah, I'm feeling magnificent. Care less what I'm up against.